Donald Trump wanted, very much wanted, a lot of the information. We got some of it with the Mueller report, but he wanted more names, dates, places, etc., associated with that Russia hoax back in 2016. Remember when they wiretapped Carter Page and they put all these honeypots out to try and get information, not just on Trump's campaign, by the way, but we've learned here through this show, an interview I did with George Papadopoulos, who was one of the victims of this, that they were also trying to go after Ben Carson's campaign. This was a whole Comey rigged thing. And so Donald Trump wants more information, so much so that just a couple of years ago, he basically sued all of these people, like Hillary Clinton and all of her friends, for $75 million. And he sued them because he wanted effectively this information. A judge threw it out, surprise, surprise. But I want to go back in time. A couple of years ago, Kash Patel was on another podcast and he said, there's something very important about this lawsuit. And the good news is, well, he's president now. But hear what Kash has to say. Listen.
I want to ask your thoughts on the news yesterday. We didn't touch on this at all. Donald Trump filed a lawsuit yesterday.
Yeah, and it's probably, hopefully he's not listening. It's his best one yet. No.
Oh, is that right?
I think so. It's the most conclusive, comprehensive lawsuit. It's basically if you took the Russiagate investigation, which Jevin and I ran, and looked at it from a criminal perspective, what Donald Trump has done is said, okay, how do I encompass everyone from Comey, Clinton, Clapper, Brennan, and all the whole DNC crew on down? How do I get them civilly in federal court? And the way you do it is you utilize this thing called RICO, Racketeering Enforcement and Corrupt Organizations. We used to prosecute gangs under RICO statutes criminally.
Cartels, you're right.
But what most people don't realize is RICO also has a civil function. So what he did was he took the RICO statute, which is permissible under by law, and said these guys orchestrated the largest criminal enterprise in U.S. history, but I'm suing them on my civil side of the house for, I don't know, $75 million. The whole point, right, is to get to discovery.
Yes. Well,
Boom.
Also civil can lead.
Okay, you heard that, right? The whole point is to get to discovery because he wanted to know exactly how this all went down. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? He's going to find out. It's all coming out. I can't wait to read this one. I mean, I actually think this is going to be better just because it's more recent, it's more relevant. Obviously, I was reporting on it in real time. It's going to be more exciting than the JFK stuff because we're going to see how the sausage is made. I've told you about the Smith-Mundt Act of 1948 and how Obama modernized it in 2012, and then it was enacted in 2013 because they used to have an effort to put all this propaganda all over the world so they could control all these regimes and promote democracy. And then they decided, because everybody had access to social media, they needed to turn that on us. It was never allowed to be turned on us. That was propaganda that we manufactured for overseas. And all of a sudden they say, hey, we need to make sure that we preserve democracy here in the good old US of A. And so they allowed that money and that funding to then promote propaganda to ensure democracy right here in the US. Who did that? Obama, okay? Obama. People at the time were like, well, this might be bad because it's propaganda. But that didn't stop them. So now we're going to learn exactly what they did with all that propaganda. Again, this week, getting this news, and I think this is just going to be fascinating. I can't wait to see it all. It's all getting declassified. This is like their worst nightmare, okay? This is what they fear. This is what keeps them up at night. This is why Comey was so desperate to make sure Donald Trump didn't win.
Next, sir, we have a presidential memorandum for your attention. This memorandum requires the immediate declassification of all FBI files relating to the Crossfire Hurricane investigation. This was obviously one of the instances of the weaponization of law enforcement powers of prosecution against you and others. We believe that it's long past time for the American people to have a full and complete...
Whoopsie daisy. I think we almost went to an ad mid-sentence. Let's go back. I want to hear this because Donald Trump is pretty excited here. This is the information that he wants. He wants to make sure that he knows everything he can about Russia. And I'm telling you, this is so important. Don't forget, you had that spy guy, Christopher Steele, who was paid by the Hillary Clinton campaign vis-a-vis Perkins Coie, vis-a-vis, I mean, it's like multi-layered here, okay, because they're trying to disguise it all, Fusion GPS. And so they come out with this wild report, and then they use that report to get the FISA warrant. In the meantime, one of the junior FBI lawyers, Kevin Kleinsman, is out there forging documents so that he can get the FISA warrant. By the way, 6 degrees of separation, Judge Boasberg, you know, the one that was trying to stop the plane midair going to El Salvador. Yeah, he's the one that actually let Kevin Kleinsmith off. He was supposed to do a year in prison, but nope, he just got off on some community service time. So I think this is important. I'm really excited to see all of this, you guys.
Next, sir, we have a presidential memorandum for you with there's a classified annex, but other than that, this will put everything in the public eye.
Boom! Okay, like it's happening. This is what he wanted. As you heard from Cash earlier, the lawsuit was really about getting that discovery. Well, now he's president, so he's going to get it all. And we're going to get it all. And we're going to know exactly what they did and how they did it. And then Pam Bondi can go after them then. She's going to be busy.